One of the biggest problems currently in the United States is how do we deal with the debt ceiling? Well, right now we do have some good news. According to a roll call reporter, Republicans are now considering a short-term debt limit suspension. Now, that's actually good news, but there's also some bad news attached to it. So what this means is Social Security payments wouldn't be delayed come June. We wouldn't see SNAP benefits get cut off. We won't see child care services end. Affordable housing won't see any disruptions. And everything is going to continue as it has been. That's the good news. But what does a short-term debt limit suspension actually mean? What does it entail? Well, here's what we know. A short-term debt limit suspension would likely mean Republicans are going to suspend the debt limit until September 31st. This would align the debt limit, the X date, along with the fiscal year funding for the government. So according to this roll call reporter, he says, and I quote, "Sources familiar with the talks describe them as preliminary and subject to change after discussion with the House GOP rank and file. But there has been support within the conference for the basic idea of tying the two deadlines together, the debt limit X date and the end of the fiscal year, to create more pressure for a deal." Now, this also means the debt limit will not be raised. It's simply going to be suspended. However, by suspending the debt limit without any increase, this could actually make it more difficult to strike a deal come September. And if Congress does what they have done in the past few years, they're simply going to pass a continuing resolution to keep the government funded past September, but this is not going to address the problem of the debt ceiling. And again, that is a major issue. One thing we do know is that we have been down this road in the past. If you remember back in 2011, we had something very similar, but at that time, we narrowly missed the X date by, I believe, a handful of days. This time, this could be completely different because this time, for one, we've seen a lot of additional funding that we have never seen in the past. So over the past 2 years, we have seen billions and billions of dollars, actually, well, trillions of dollars, go out. That is very, very disturbing because we have never seen that in the past. Even the financial crisis, we didn't send out as much money as we have over the past 2 or 3 years. So this is why some lawmakers are very skeptical that we are going to get a deal done because Republicans are pushing for spending cuts. Now, here's something that also makes this deal extremely complicated. Back in 2011, a handful of Republicans, well, for one, we just need to get a deal done. We need to ensure the full faith and credit of the United States. And we did that. Yes, it still got hit, but at the same time, we did it. What makes it more complicated now than back in 2011 is Republicans have already come out and publicly stated that they will only vote for an increase in the debt ceiling if they see spending cuts. If they don't see spending cuts, they will not vote for the bill. But the reports out recently have said that Republicans just can't decide on where to make these cuts. They ultimately want Democrats to make this decision. However, Democrats deciding on what to cut is never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Okay? Now, here's what we do know. Republicans have stated that they can't decide if Social Security or Medicare should be included. If you remember last week or a week or two ago, former President Donald Trump, he put out a video on Twitter saying that there should be no cuts to Social Security or Medicare, not a single penny. So that is something that many Republicans are against, is voting for a cut to Social Security and Medicare that is taking care of millions and millions of Americans. They also say they don't know if they should include military funding, if this should be in the list. They do not know if they do know one thing, that they do not want to see any additional taxes. So no new tax revenue used to reduce the debt. And that is likely the path that Democrats are going to go down, is to let's increase taxes, but on certain individuals. That means people making over $400,000 per year. There might be other things that get taxed as well, but that is the gist of it right there. Now, we do know Republicans have said they would be willing to cut domestic non-defense spending. That's what they stated. So, as of right now, everything has to be decided by roughly June 5th. That's going to come up very quickly. We know there's going to be issues along the way, but what I want to address today, and this is good news, is that Republicans now are considering to work with Democrats to push this back. So it's going to make this issue kind of just drag on, but at the same time, even though the issue is going to drag on, the good news is that we are likely not going to hit this X date on June 5th or sometime in June. So as we get more information as to what is going on there, I promise I will fill you in on all the latest news and updates. But make sure you subscribe so you never miss an update. I will keep you updated on everything that's going on regarding the U.S. economy and much, much more. So again, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.